Yumichan here with another video. This video is going to be filmed in 2 sessions, so if you see lighting change, that is why. Now to get started on this video, in my last video of my art supply haul, I mentioned that I was going to videotape myself making the cover for my Book of Shadows. Well, I'm also going to make the back side of the Book of Shadows as well, because I feel like it needs to be fully cohesive for it to make sense to me anyways. I like things to be fully cohesive. So here I have sketched out a couple of ideas. Now, this was the first one, this was the second one, this was the third one that I sketched out. All of these are inspired by some that I've seen on Pinterest. And when I say this, I ended up finding a lot of them that had something elevated, like it was sculpted on top. And so that's my idea, for it to be sculpted, and then from there on, I would paint it and add all the details that I want to it. And I really was attracted to the eye idea. And I don't know what it is about it lately, but things have had to have eyes. So this is the first one I created with the pentacle in it. I thought that one was really nice initially, and then I created this one thinking I could add the Wiccan sign. I'm gonna need to find out the appropriate name for this. If you do know it, please leave it down below. Educate me. Educate me. It is important. But I didn't really like this one. It felt too crowded with the eye. And I created this one. Initially, I went back to this design and was like, yeah, I'll do this one. I really like it, because the eye is still kind of the focal point of it. But then I left it alone. I went for a shower, I went for a bath, and I came back to this one. And this is the one I'm going to go with. The way that I'm going to sculpt this, I'm going to do paper mache. And then I'm going to paint it and seal it. So, then I'm going to have little designs. I have the moon cycle at the top. I want to have 2 gemstones at the bottom here. And I'm going to go ahead and add a a pendulum to it. These items I still need to go out and buy. And yeah, I think this will be the best way for me to do it. This is what I like. It's a little simple. It's nice. The thing I'm also going to be doing is I'm going to be tinting some of the pages with tea. I think I'm going to go 1 page with tea, 1 page without, vice versa, and then my Book of Shadows will be ready to be used. You guys are not going to be seeing me do the tea thing, but just be patient with me, and I hope you enjoy the process of me creating the front and the back of my Book of Shadows. Let's get started. Hello everyone, Yumichan here again. So I just thought I would talk throughout the process a little bit, just to give you an insight of the art itself. So the first thing I did was go in to sketch it with regular pencil, but that didn't show up too well on the cover because the cover is black. So I went in with a white colored pencil instead. Now, I went in with paper mache to do my sculpting for this, and the mixture that I'm using to glue it down is a mixture of water and glue. It's about half and half, and the thing I think I struggled with most with this is to make sure that it, first of all, the pieces I was rolling stayed in place for the elevated parts, and second of all, that didn't flatten when I covered those said pieces. Now, in between takes, there's something that you guys don't see. That's me using my blow dryer to dry it a little bit quicker so that I can work on it a little bit faster and at a more reasonable pace. Initially, I was going to ball up some of the paper and put it in the middle of the eye to elevate the pupil. Unfortunately, that wasn't working out the way that I thought, so I went ahead and worked on making sure that the elevated parts weren't going to move out of place. So what I did in this case was put a strip of paper around it all and just encased it.
And when it came to the pupil, I just folded up some pieces of paper and I just laid them down with some of the glue mixture. That seemed to help. However, I did have to do it a couple of layers for this for it to end up being elevated the way that I wanted it to be elevated. And I did have to rip up some more of the tissue paper for me to be able to finish this. I went through a pack and a half of tissue paper. However, it was definitely worth it because it gave it the look that I was hoping to give it. And I also had to elevate some places a second time around because after putting the top pieces to keep them in place, I noticed that it flattened down a bit. Now, I was going to make sure that the edges were all underneath it and folded over into the cover on the inside. However, I noticed that that wasn't going to work out initially as I was doing it because the book was closed, so that meant that it would stick to the inside page, which I didn't want. Now, the paper, that's all I pretty much got to say for the paper mache. Now, I did do both sides of it because I thought that it would make it more cohesive for the texture of it, because I thought it would be weird that one side had texture and the other didn't. And for the second part for this, you might see that I'm not actually using my fingers to pick up the paper mache because my fingers did have glue on them and it was really annoying that it was sticking to my fingers. So what I did was use my brush to pick up the paper mache because the brush had glue on it. So it made it a little bit easier to work with. And you can see it right there that what I'm doing. And I thought I would go through a lot more glue than I did for this piece, but I didn't, which was kind of nice. Now, for the painting process of this, I did use acrylic, and I had the issue of it soaking into the material a little bit quicker than I was expecting it to, and you'll see that layer later where I'm having some issues with putting the paint on. Here you can see me adding another level of height to it because it wasn't quite the height that I wanted it to be. So I added another level and I also held it in place with another piece of paper. Now, I also added level to the pupil as well because I didn't like the height of it either. And then after all of that, I just glued on the rest of the papers in places that needed some more papers in that I thought had too much of the sketchbook showing, and then we get on to the painting process. Now for the painting process, I used acrylic, and that is all I used. And I went on as a basically a dry brush onto the paper, and then eventually became a wet brush. And I tried to blend it out as much as I could to make it look more natural. And I honestly, in the end, really enjoyed the look of this. Now, the only thing that I struggled with was, again, like I mentioned earlier, the tissue paper absorbing the paint a lot quicker than I expected it to. The other thing that you guys are not going to see in this video that I will be adding to this sketchbook are some stones on top. And the reason you guys aren't going to see this is because the local crystal shop that I go to normally was closed on Monday, so I didn't go and grab that. But honestly, I think that one is a little bit more personal to me, and I don't feel comfortable showing the process of me adding the stones on it. So in the end, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the end. That's it for today. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. You are listening to a pre-recorded outro.
If you did enjoy this video, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button, as well as the bell to be notified. And if you haven't already, make sure you head on over to my Ko-fi, where you can buy me a coffee. Still working on those rewards for you guys. Don't worry, it's still in the works. It's just trying to figure out what would be best to offer to everyone that supports me. If you haven't already, make sure you head on over to my Twitch channel, where I live stream every Saturday. Now, I'm not going to make a promise, but I am trying to get back on track on it. I know I've said this before. Just things happen on Saturdays where I cannot stream, but I'm going to try to stream either the Saturday or the Sunday from now on. And if you would like to own your own piece of art from me, either a custom print or a commission of your own character or favorite character, you can always email me at YumichanStudios@hotmail.com, where I would be more than happy to work with you. That's it for today. Yumichan here. Over and out.